Here we are, another year, another Call of Duty. This is Activision's 21st year of making COD. I think I can speak for all of us when I say that Call of Duty isn't like it used to be. Activision has succumbed to corporate influence in the pursuit of profits. They're trying their best to please investors, but not their fans. Die-hard Call of Duty fans' experience has decreased due to the increased use of skill-based matchmaking. It's unfortunate because there will always be a father of four who wants to get on after working for 10 hours, who simply doesn't pay attention to these nuanced problems. And that's what keeps these games running. Activision uses predatory practices to keep novice players in a protected bracket, so they'll keep buying $20 to $30 bundles. This will always be more alluring to Call of Duty than its longtime fans. Back in the day, when I started playing Call of Duty and I got beaten, I wanted to get better. I wanted to overcome whatever obstacles stood before me. But now there is no getting better. The better you do, the tougher your competition. If this were a ranked playlist, I'd understand, but I'll never advocate for SBMM or EOMM in any casual playlist. To sum up Activision's unscrupulous activities, let's take a look at the $100 Black Ops 6 bundle, which contains operators for both sides and 4 weapons for players to try. One of these weapons, the Jackal PDW, which looked like an AK-74U of sorts, by far was the best weapon and had the most usage out of the community. The beta wasn't all bad though, so let's get to some of the pros and cons of the Black Ops 6 beta. Let's start with the pros. The gunplay is loose and responsive. Killing enemies in Call of Duty has felt just as good as it ever has. Being that this is one of COD's X factors, I'm not surprised and happy to see it return. The C9 or the MP5 and the LR762 sniper rifle were my go-to for the majority of the beta, but the M4, Jackal, and Tonto also shared the spotlight. There's also one new mechanic in which you can use your enemy as a meat shield. This can create some funny moments because game chat is open between the two of you. Omnidirectional movement is a new and interesting movement system, allowing you to sprint, slide, or dive in any direction. I thought this would be another mechanic for people without jobs to exploit, but it is shown to be the best movement system without being too overpowered. Many feel it is janky, but I prefer it to prior movement systems. If you don't land the first shot, you still have a chance at winning your gunfight. The perks have been streamlined in this beta into 3 categories, each containing 2 perks of each color, red, blue, and green. Perks can be combined to create stronger builds called specialties, which fall into 3 categories, Enforcer, Recon, and Strategist. These specialists cater to an aggressive playstyle, an enemy awareness playstyle, or advanced score streak acquiring capabilities, respectively. Some fan favorite perks are making a return in the form of Ghost, Ninja, Fast Hands, and Dexterity. It was nice to see Ninja as a perk this time around, although I don't expect anything less from Treyarch. The gunsmith simplifications were a breath of fresh air for the community. No more searching for the best build online or wondering if your attachments are good or not. It seems like most, if not all, of drawbacks have been removed from attachments, which is much appreciated. Gunsmiths in previous Call of Duty games of late have made your loadout either slow and cumbersome or highly uncontrollable with recoil. So it is refreshing to see that there are no downsides to attachments. Having confidence in your loadout is very welcome. Unfortunately, that wraps up the pros. The cons list is deep, so grab a snack, maybe some water, and get comfortable.
Oh shit.
So to get to what most COD players are wondering about, SBMM. Skill-based matchmaking is more prevalent than ever. In the first weekend of the beta, it felt like we were being matched against easier opponents, but my suspicions were confirmed in the second weekend of the beta. The matches became more competitive and had more of a BO tinge to it. These lobbies smelled like a locker room. Additionally, there were issues with packet bursts. Consistent and unwavering. It is puzzling why ping isn't a primary factor when searching for games. It is difficult to compete in competitive lobbies when you're experiencing lag in your gunfights. This has been an ongoing issue since Modern Warfare 2019. It is frustrating to see that Call of Duty prioritizes SBMM and hasn't addressed the community's concerns about it. It is unlikely that SBMM will be going anywhere anytime soon. It seems like the weapon balance was a bit off in this iteration. Many people have been referring to the Black Ops 6 beta as Call of Duty Jackal Warfare because of the prevalence of the Jackal PDW. This gun seems to be very effective, although I did not share the same sentiment as other players did. I've also noticed that SMGs have surprisingly good range, and in some cases outperforming ARs. This seems like an issue that needs to be addressed, and I am aware that this is a beta, and this will likely be adjusted before the official launch of the game. The map rotation during the beta was disappointing to say the least. During the first weekend of the beta, we played Skyline, Scud, Derelict, and Rewind, followed by Babylon on the following weekend. Skyline, in my opinion, was the best out of the 5. It had a nice aesthetic design and decent flow without terrible spawn points. However, I cannot say the same about the rest of the maps. Scud was not great, with too many vantage points, trenches, and open areas affecting the flow and spawn points. Rewind was also problematic, with most of the action being concentrated in the middle building, or in long open sightlines. Derelict was mediocre at best. It was large enough to understand flow and spawns, but wasn't enjoyable overall. Finally, Babylon. AI generated garbage. It's not hard to predict flow and where the enemies are spawning unless they're spawning behind you. I also want to make a small point. I've heard many complaints about motion sickness in the community, which seems to be caused by gun bob and head movement, as well as a death animation that follows your character to the ground. I can understand the discomfort of motion sickness, but I did not experience this myself with my time in the beta, but I felt like it was worth mentioning. After summing my experience with Black Ops 6, I would rate the beta a 6.9 out of 10. Although there are some glaring issues with spawns, flow, maps, and gun balance, I still intend to enjoy Black Ops 6 and create content upon the official release of the game. So the question is, should you buy Call of Duty Black Ops 6 this year? If you are a diehard fan of Call of Duty, I would say yes. There are some interesting gameplay mechanics to play with, such as omni movement and grabbing your enemy from behind and whispering in their ear.
What do you mean by that?
Are you excited about the release of Call of Duty Black Ops 6? Let me know in the comments. If you're interested in some different content, head down to my channel. I make funny moments, reviews, and playthroughs of games. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed my video, make sure to like and subscribe. Drink water and be easy, y'all. Trying their best to simply pay attention. Simply doesn't. It's not that hard.